Welcome to Headingley for the Silk Cut Challenge Cup 5th round clash between second place Leeds in the first division, and of course Rydale York, currently mid-table in Division 2, and on paper again Leeds will be looking to win and win convincingly. Leeds of course beat Bradford Northern at home in round 4 by 31 points to 14. Meanwhile Rydale York beat Rochdale Hornets at home 18-12 in the 4th round, and in the 3rd round Amateurs Barrow Island, that was also at home, by 50 points to 20. Leeds are looking to continue their road to Wembley. Challenge Cup finalists last year, of course, against Wigan. Well, on paper, as I said, Leeds will be odds-on favourites to make it certainly through to Monday's quarter-final draw. On then to the team news for this one, and Leeds line up with Alan Tate at full-back, Jim Fallon, Kevin Iro, Craig Innes, Francis Cummins, the half-backs of Graham Holroyd and Patrick Ontod, Neil Harmon, James Lowes, Eseni Familo, George Mann, Richie Ayres, and the loose forward is Ellery Hanley, with the subs Gary Schofield and Jim Latham. A 30-second prayer silence for the unfortunate boxer who was involved in that Ben fight on Saturday night. Everybody hoping that he makes a full recovery. The Rydale York team then, after that slight hold-up, Jason Lawrence is at full-back, Dean Thomas, Chris Judge, Chris Hopgood, and on the left wing is Lee Deakin, a former Leeds player, of course, who made the move to the Rydale Stadium. Number 6 is Brad Davis, half-back is the very experienced Andy Gascoigne, Richard Hayes, Stuart Horton, Ian Fletcher, the second rows of Andy Precious and Mick Ramsden. The loose forward, formerly of London Crusaders, is Neville Ramsey, with the substitutes Steve Dobson and Darryl Jackson. The referee for this one is Russell Smith, who's made the relatively short trip from Castleford. It's a beautiful afternoon, the pitch looking in resplendent condition. It's a little bit breezy, but the sun's shining, and Rydale York hoping to provide one of the cup shocks. Not only would it be of the season, but for a number of years if they could overcome Leeds in this Challenge Cup clash. Patrick Ontop plays for the first time in a number of months. He wears the scrum half jersey, with Graham Holroyd going to stand off, Gary Schofield on the subs bench, and Jim Latham, who came on as a sub at Castleford, continues his place on the subs bench for this one as Leeds kick deep inside that Rydale York half. An important, maybe opening 20 minutes for Rydale York. They'll be hoping to settle early and maybe even get a number of points on the board as York have it inside their own half. Gascoigne puts the pass out on that left-hand side to the three-quarter Chris Hopcutt. He's just outside his own 20-metre area. Short pass inside to Stuart Horton, the hooker, brought down by Richie Ayres. Third tackle, Rydale York electing to kick. It's a left-footed kick inside the Leeds half, and Francis Cummins picks the ball up and then heads towards the Rydale York defenders, who've moved up pretty quickly, and they make the tackle as Alan Tate from full-back tries to find his way through. Ball spun out left to Neil Harmon. Harvey Howard not in the Leeds side for this one. He's got a slight injury. Also missing, of course, is Gary Mercer. Leeds making inroads through George Mann. Patrick Ontop with a short pass inside to Richie Ayres. Ayres, though, is met by the tackle of Andy Precious and Stuart Horton. Ball back to Graham Holroyd, who kicks left-footed, but it's straight to the full-back. The full-back struggles to take it. Referee Russell Smith says the ball went back, but Jason Lawrence, the Rydale York number 1, takes it on the second attempt. The ball went back according to the referee. Horton, the acting half-back. Ball comes out to this right-hand side to the second row forward, Mick Ramsden, approaching the halfway line, Rydale York. Andy Gascoigne finds the support from Ian Fletcher, but he's well wrapped up there by Aseni Familo, George Mann and James Lowes. Ball back again to the second row, Andy Precious, who puts the left-footed kick. And that's a good kick as well by Precious. It goes deep inside the Leeds half. And Alan Tate has to backpedal. And good following up that by the second division side. Lee Deakin makes the tackle. Jim Fallon. Ball inside to Kevin Iro. No way through there for the big Kiwi. Tackled by Ian Fletcher. Patrick Ontott with the ball out to this left-hand side to Craig Innes. Innes gets away from the first defender, just can't stay on his feet, just stumbles, and Dean Thomas completes the tackle. Ellery Hanley. Hanley midway between his own 20-metre line and the halfway line. Richie Ayres. Rydale York caught offside. Andy Gascoigne. Rydale York number 7, adjudged by Russell Smith to be an offside position. And Leeds will have the penalty just inside their own half of the field. Good deep kick by Graham Holroyd onto the roof of the stand on the far side, and Leeds have a tap penalty just outside the Rydale York 20-metre line. As Familo comes up at first receiver, makes about 5 or 10 yards before he's brought down. Now it's Neil Harmon. Good forward play by Familo and then by Harmon, and Leeds very close now to the Rydale York try line. Ontott out there to George Mann. Mann to Iro. As Iro got the power, he's just held inches short, the big Kiwi. Lowes. That's a long pass, maybe a chance for an interception. Leeds still have it through Graham Holroyd. Stumbles but does well to keep hold of Leeds standoff. Rydale York scrambling their defence across, but an ankle tap there as Leeds try to play the ball quickly, and Leeds have been awarded the penalty. Leeds decide to play it. Alan Tate. Tate steps inside, but he's met by Andy Gascoigne and Richard Hayes. George Mann. Mann's found a gap, and that's the opening points of the afternoon. Taken Leeds just 4 minutes. The try scorer is George Mann. Mann scored his first try for Leeds against Castleford last Friday night. He's gone in for the first points in this one. Taken Leeds 4 minutes then, the first real attack. And it was that ankle tap which gave Leeds 6 tackles deep inside that 20-metre area. The ball was spun out to this left-hand side, and there was George Mann. Holroyd left-footed, straight between the middle. And Leeds lead Rydale York by 6 points to 0. Not the start Rydale York would have wanted. They'll have been hoping to keep Leeds penned inside their own half from the kick-off and maybe put a little bit of pressure on them. They'll be looking for a quick response. As Andy Precious kicks off for York deep inside the Leeds half. Richie Ayres. 4 tacklers come in and bring him down inside his own 20-metre area. Now it's Francis Cummins who pops up on the right-hand side for Leeds. Hopcut with the tackle. Now it's Familo. Lowes feeds Ontott out to George Mann. Mann can't release the ball though. Good tackling round the ankles by Gascoigne and Chris Judge, the Rydale York three-quarter, and good pressure play that by the visitors. They hold Leeds inside their own half. It's the final tackle. Graham Holroyd puts the left-footed kick down, bouncing, and in the end it's taken by the fullback Jason Lawrence. Looks up, sees a whole host of blue and amber shirts directly in front of him. Ellery Hanley and James Lowes bring him down. Dean Thomas, the winger, thinks he spots a gap, but Hanley and Lowes bring him down. York just inside the Leeds half of the field. Horton with the long pass. Andy Gascoigne. Gascoigne feeds a loose forward. Neville Ramsey. Ramsey cuts in field. Back to Stuart Horton. Horton with a long pass out. That was a little bit dangerous. Iro was there looking for the interception, but Rydale York still have possession. They've got the final tackle. They'll probably look for the kick. Ramsey puts the right-butted kick in, and it goes into touch on the far side. And it'll be a scrum down inside the Leeds half, with Leeds having the advantage of the put-in. The Frenchman, Patrick Onton, feeds the scrum, feeds Jim Fallon. Fallon releases the ball out to Graham Holroyd. Maybe a chance here for Leeds. Alan Tate joins the line, finds a gap out to Francis Cummins. Cummins does well to step inside the winger, going to make it to the halfway line. The Leeds number 5, a good break from defence by Leeds. Alan Tate comes up with possession. The ball's gone behind. The referee says play on. Leeds spilled the ball. Andy Precious says he has it. Referee thinks otherwise. And Leeds have been awarded the penalty. And Graham Holroyd will kick the ball into touch on this south stand side. Another good position then for Leeds in the early stages. For Milo. Takes 3 or 4 Ideal York defenders to put the Leeds number 10 down. Lows to Harmon. Onton. Ball switched inside to Richie Ayres. Now it's Graham Holroyd. That looked a bit high on Holroyd from Andy Precious. Referee's blown up. Ideal York are going to be penalised. And the second row forward has already been in trouble a few seconds ago for a misdemeanour. Going to have to be a little bit careful. That's the second offence in the space of about 30 seconds. The last thing Ideal York need is one of their players to be sin-binned. So Leeds have the penalty. Head-high tackle. And Graham Holroyd is going to kick for goal. Just to the side of the post, almost on the 20-metre line, and very much within the capabilities of Graham Holroyd. Conditions good for kicking. There is a slight breeze, but nothing which should cause problems for the goal kickers. Graham Holroyd hits the post, it comes back out, and it falls kindly to Andy Precious, who puts a pass out, and it's gone back according to the referee. So Graham Holroyd missing the penalty conversion, hitting the post and coming out. That ball could have gone anywhere. Went straight into the hands of a player in yellow and black. Stuart Horton feeds the ball onto this right-hand side to Ian Fletcher. Gascoigne. Out to Brad Davis. This standoff makes a good break. There's support with him here, but Brad Davis, herring towards the 20-metre line, decides to put a kick in, but he kicks it too powerfully. But a good break by Brad Davis. Certainly the Leeds fans appreciative of the Ideal York move, but the second division decides kick was a little bit too powerful. The ball went dead. And Leeds quickly get play back underway inside their own half of the field. Harmon. Lows to Patrick Onton. Tate feeds Iro. Iro, Innes comes through on a burst. Innes has got support inside from Ellery Hanley. And that was good full-back play by Jason Lawrence, and will certainly stop in a Leeds try there. Craig Innes came bursting into the Leeds line. He had Ellery Hanley on his inside, may have telegraphed the pass a little bit, and Jason Lawrence made a crucial touch with his hand to prevent what would have surely been Leeds' second try. Leeds have possession from the scrum. Graham Holroyd is tackled by Davis and by the Ideal York number 3, Chris Judge. Now it's Richie Ayres. Leeds in this opening 12 minutes. Ball was penned inside that Ideal York half. George Mann looks to offload. is finally brought down at the second attempt. James Lowes goes by himself, held a couple of metres short of the line. Leeds again in a good position. Graham Holroyd, long pass out to Kevin Iro. Iro picks the ball up standing, gets it out to Craig Innes. Good cover play that though by Rydell York. Andy Gascoigne brings him down. Final tackle this for Leeds. Francis Cummins tries to find a gap in the Rydell York defence, but that's going to be the turnover. And the second division outfit holding out well there under a bit of more Leeds pressure. 6-0 Leeds lead. George Mann try, Graham Holroyd conversion. As Graham Holroyd is down there receiving some attention, and here comes Rydell York on the break, but the ball is spilled by Chris Hopcutt just when Rydell York had a great opportunity to make a break, and the ball was put down. But more concern for Leeds is Graham Holroyd, who's receiving some pretty intensive treatment from Seamus McCallion, the Leeds physio. Looks a little bit groggy, the Leeds number 6, still down on the deck. The Leeds subs, Gary Schofield and Jim Latham. Rather gingerly, looks as if Graham Holroyd is going to get to his feet. Referee blows up, not happy with the scrum. And Leeds will feed again. Comes out, head and ball, Leeds side, Ellery Hanley. And let's see who's in arse from the Leeds supporters as Ian Fletcher came round the back of Hanley to maybe try and grasp at the ball. Kevin Iro. Iro with the pass inside to George Mann. Mann jinks one way, finds the Frenchman Patrick Anton playing at scrum half, but he's dumped by a Rydell York defender. Lowes to Familo. Familo does well, shrugs off one tackle, takes 2 defenders to bring him down. Leeds again just in front of the Rydell York post. Ellery Hanley, dummies. Ball's gone loose. It's been fielded by Andy Gascoigne. And Leeds pressure in that Rydell York 20-metre area comes to nothing. Maybe York will be happy just to grind the ball away from their own try line and kick on the final tackle. Almost a break there from the second row forward, Mick Ramsden. Pass inside to Chris Judge. Innes and Lowes bring him down. Andy Gascoigne. Pass out there to Brad Davis. Davis with a little chip through. He had support from Jason Lawrence. The ball's gone loose. The referee will have to decide, and I think he'll give a scrum down with Rydell York having the advantage of the pudding. It was Leeds that knocked on first time. Andy Gascoigne will feed the scrum just inside the Leeds half of the field. Finds Brad Davis, who made a good break for York about 10 minutes ago. He'll have been encouraged by that. Gascoigne out to Neville Ramsey, the former London Crusaders player, almost makes it to the 20-metre line. Quick play this by York, keeping the ball alive. Ramsey feeds Gascoigne, and York have been given a penalty. Leeds have been caught offside. And Rydell York will kick for goal. 16 minutes gone, a chance for Andy Precious to give Rydell York 2 points. Right underneath the post. And there should be 2 points for Rydell York. It will give a little bit of heart, no doubt, if they can get a couple of points on the board. Precious with the penalty conversion, and he completes the 2 points. 17 minutes gone, Leeds 6, Rydal York 2. Leeds to kick off then through Graham Holroyd. Deep kick in the sunshine. Rydal York have it to their backs, where it's fielded by Davis, who comes up from acting half-back, midway inside his own half of the field. Three Leeds tacklers in though there. Harmon, Ayres and Aseni Familo as York make it to halfway. Ball spun out left. Precious with the left-footed grubber kick. It's a deep kick inside that Leeds half. It's a well-timed kick actually by Andy Precious. It bounces 3 or 4 times and goes into touch right by the corner flag. So there'll be a scrum down, which Leeds will feed. Maybe Rydal York feel at the moment they've weathered a spell of Leeds pressure. They'll be not quite happy they've only conceded so far 6 points. Another high tackle, Brad Davis on Jim Fallon. Referee blows up, Leeds will have a penalty. And Graham Holroyd into the bottom section of the paddock. Lowe's with the tap to Neil Harmon. Harmon wearing the head guard. Takes 2 defenders to bring him down. Now it's Aseni Familo. Familo herring towards halfway. Certainly Familo and Harmon getting through a lot of work in the early stages of this one. Richie Ayres almost makes the break, just tackled by the York number 13. George Mann with a pass out to Kevin Iro. It's been spilled by Leeds. An unforced error that. Rydal York have the scrum down. And Andy Gascoigne will feed it blindside on the far side. The Headingley ground bathed in February sunshine. As Lee Deakin gets a touch, I'm sure he would love to score a try at Headingley. That's come off a York defender. The ball's gone forward. Francis Cummins made the tackle on Dean Thomas anyhow, but it was in shoulder off a Rydal York player, so it's another scrum down. There's been a fair few scrums in this opening 20 minutes or so. Comes out Leeds side, Graham Holroyd. Holroyd to Iro. Iro well wrapped up though there. Onslaught out to George Mann. Mann shrugs off one challenge. Jim Fallon. Fallon sees a gap. He's going down that right-hand side. Deakin gets an ankle to him, but Fallon still stands and makes it about 18 metres from that Rydal York try line. Leeds quick spinning pass out to this left-hand side. Richie Ayres. Leeds crossing. Ellery Hanley went in front of the Rydal York defender. Acknowledges. And the second division side will have a penalty. Good play that though by Jim Fallon down that right-hand side. Lee Deakin will maybe require some treatment after making that tackle. As Andy Precious hits the television gantry with the ball. Goes heads down up here for a slight second. Stuart Horton, Richard Hayes on halfway for York. Ramsey. Well tackled by Graham Holroyd. Andy Gascoigne was there in support. And that's a completely miscued play the ball by the York team, and the ball's gone loose. A little bit scrappy at the moment, this one. Lowe's to Patrick Onton. Chiers Well wrapped up though there by Mick Ramsden. Innes. Neil Harmon comes in, makes it to the halfway line where he's tackled by Precious and by Thomas. For Milo, head down, only knows one way to go, that's forward, and drives Leeds further towards that 20-metre line. But this is the final tackle. Lowe's feeds Graham Holroyd, who puts the left-footed diagonal kick up. Lee Deacon drops it. And it'll be another scrum down. And Leeds once more having the chance to put a little bit of pressure on that Rydell York line. Spinning pass by Ontal, finds Graham Holroyd. Holroyd to Craig Innes. Innes does well. Takes 3 defenders with him. Leeds just underneath the post, and Brad Davis interferes at the play of the ball. Leeds have a penalty. It looks as if Leeds are going to go for goal. To try and no doubt restore the 6-point advantage which they held in the opening 4 minutes with that try. And I think the Rydell York coaching staff will be more than satisfied with the opening 25 minutes of this one. But the big question, of course, is will they be able to keep Leeds out for a sustained period? Holroyd with the penalty. This time it doesn't hit the post, it goes straight between the middle. So Leeds restore the 6-point advantage. They now lead Rydell York by 8 points to 2. That penalty coming on 24 minutes. So Precious to kick off once more. Difficult ball bouncing in front of Ellery Hanley. Loses it to Francis Cummins to pick up. Richie Ayres. Ayres gets away from the first tackle, makes it outside the 20-metre line, makes a half break before he's wrapped up by Chris Hopgood. Harmon gets away from the challenge as well, and within 2 tackles Leeds have made it almost to the halfway line. Holroyd, long pass, it bounces. Alan Tate has to pick up and then finds a gap. Good burst by the Leeds #1, does well Alan Tate. Crucial tackle by Ramsey, but Leeds have numbers on this left-hand side. George Mann spills the ball went back though. Final tackle this for Leeds. Graham Holroyd puts the grubber kick through. Almost a juggler, the full-back there, Jason Lawrence, but manages to keep hold of Rydell York deep inside their own half, as Andy Gascoigne currently out of play, receiving some attention. It could be a shoulder injury. So at the moment, Rydell York are down to 12 men. It looks as if Gascoigne is going to be unable to continue. Former Bramley player. Davis, he certainly looks the key player in the Rydell York team. A clever little kick through, he's got support inside. It was a forward pass though to Mick Ramsden, but the Australian, the key man, 8-2. It is doing the forwards work. Now it's George Mann. Lowe's feeds Patrick Ontal. Pass inside to Richie Ayres. Ayres, can he get the ball the way he turns? Spins. Can't release the ball. Lowe's to Familo. Familo shoulder down, shrugs off his opposite number 10 Ian Fletcher. Sixth tackle coming up. Graham Holroyd with the left-footed kick, putting Lee Deacon under pressure again. Bounces in front of him, goes out into touch. That's Radio York make a blood bin substitution. Number 14 is Steve Dobson on that far side. They're trying to determine Radio York whether they're going to make the blood bin substitution. And in the end, Andy Gascoigne says he's okay to continue. So Dobson remains on the sidelines at the moment. Jason Lawrence, Radio York fullback. Horton feeds the ball inside. Another missed tackle there by Leeds, and it's the number 8 Richard Hayes who makes a break for York. Applause from the York fans behind that left-hand goal as Mick Ramsden puts a pass in, and it's gone loose. Referee Russell Smith having a word with his touch judge, says it was a knock-on. And although Radio York appeal that they should have the put-in, referee agrees. Gascoigne to Brad Davis. Davis though tackled by Graham Holroyd. Gascoigne acting half-back. Ball inside to the loose forward, Neville Ramsey. Offloads the ball, back to Brad Davis. Davis spots a gap, gets the pass inside. It's finally picked up by Andy Precious. Radio York no more than a few metres from the Leeds try line. Ball goes out to the left-hand side. Ramsey has support from Hopcutt, but he's held inches short. Gascoigne goes by himself, head down, he's going to go over for the try. Just literally an inch short. There's 4 or 5 Leeds players right in front of Gascoigne. And the number of Leeds players there puts the pressure on the Radio York pass. And Leeds will be relieved to have possession. Referee, what's he going to give here? He's going to give a knock-on. Ten minutes to half-time. Radio York penned inside that Leeds half. Now we're hoping for some return here with 6 tackles. Brad Davis. Ramsey out to Ramsden. Ramsden just held by Ellery Hanley. Richard Hayes, the prop forward, tackled by Ayres. Ayres is hurt as a result. York still have it through Gascoigne. Gascoigne out to Lawrence. The ball has gone loose and Leeds have possession through Jim Fallon. York just trying to push that final pass to find maybe a gap in the Leeds defence. It's Patrick Anton on the 20-metre line. Harmon. Good run that by the Leeds number 8. For Milo, doing the spade work. Gets a good pass inside to Anton. Anton's got Hanley with him. Hanley tackled though by 2 defenders. Leeds still down to 12 men. Richie Ayres is still receiving some attention deep inside his own half. York themselves have an injury problem, so it's 12 against 12. Alan Tate finds a gap. Tate's got support from Iro. Iro's going to go in for the try. Leeds scored their second touchdown on the 32-minute mark. Alan Tate with the pass. And there was Kevin Iro to go in for the second Leeds try. Kevin Iro's 8th try of the season. 12 points to 2. Leeds now leading Rydell York. Some delay. Graham Holroyd is going to take the conversion. It's Richard Hayes, the Rydell York number 8, the prop forward, who is sadly going to be stretchered off. As Holroyd beautifully converts the 2 points. Straight between the middle. 14-2 now Leeds lead Rydell York in this Challenge Cup 5th round clash. So York having to make the substitution. Daryl Jackson, the forward's going to come on to replace him as he receives a round of applause from a Sporting Headingley crowd. Never nice to see any player of any team having to leave the field on a stretcher. Andy Precious kicks off. Well taken in the ankle there by Francis Cummins from the kick-off. Alan Tate. Alan Tate appealing that the Rydell York player was in an offside position. Referee disagrees and play continues. Lowe's out to Familo. Familo wrapped up though there in the middle of the park. Harmon at first receiver. Pushes one tackle off and maybe penalised there for using his elbow, the Leeds number 8. Was trying to shrug off the defender, but not allowed to do it that way. Neil Harmon penalised. And Andy Precious puts a good kick deep inside that Leeds half. How Rydell York would love to get something in the last 5 minutes of this first half. They're in a good position. Gascoigne feeds Daryl Jackson, the substitute. But Andy Gascoigne, under no pressure at all, knocks on. Receives a round of applause from the Leeds supporters in the south stand. He'll no doubt be annoyed with himself for spilling the ball under no pressure whatsoever. Patrick Onsall takes the ball from the scrum, makes a half break. Brad Davis, the Australian, wraps him up. Lowe's, long pass out to George Mann on that right hand side. Richie Ayres looks to have recovered after receiving some attention a little earlier in the game. Lowe's to Harmon. Harmon makes good yards. Driving in that Rydell York half. Lowe's goes out to the break there for Kevin Iro. Iro's gone down one defender. He's got Jim Fallon with him. This is going to be another Leeds try. 4 minutes before half time. Jim Fallon is the try scorer. On this occasion it was Kevin Iro who set it up. Iro, of course, scored the second Leeds try. And as soon as that break was made by Iro, Rydell York was stretched on that left-hand side. It's another 4 points to Leeds. Graham Holroyd taking his time, going to try and make sure that he gives Leeds another 2 points. And his patience is worth it because it's Graham Holroyd with the 2 points. And it's now Leeds 20, Rydell York 2. Last couple of minutes of the first half. Cummins takes the ball on the full from the kick-off. Lowe's to Alan Tate. Tate tackled by Horton. Harmon receives the pass from the scrum half, but he's wrapped up. Holroyd with the spinning pass out to George Mann. Mann cuts inside, almost finds the gap, almost finds the pass to Innes, but Mann holds on. Leeds loose forward Ellery Hanley. Final tackle this for Leeds. Graham Holroyd with the left-footed kick. Bouncing, it's going to go into touch right by the corner flag. And that will set Rydell York back deep inside their own half of the field. We enter the final few moments of this first half of this Challenge Cup clash. Comes out on the York side. Three Leeds defenders there on the fullback, Jason Lawrence. Hanley and Lowe's complete the tackle there, and it's the sub Darryl Jackson who makes yards forward for the second division side. Rydell York have just about made it to the halfway line. Final tackle. Precious put on a little bit of pressure there, but he manages to get the kick in. Francis Cummins pushes the ball back and then picks up. Good tackle, good follow-up there though by Rydell York. Loose forward, Ramsey brings him down. Alan Tate runs into a couple of defenders. Craig Innes. Maybe Leeds look for something here on this left-hand side. Graham Holroyd gets the ball away under pressure, finds Kevin Iro. Iro Gomez goes by himself. Pass supporting field, but that's a loose pass, and Rydell York have possession through Andy Gascoigne. First half injury time here at Headingley. Long pass out to that left-hand side. Lee Deakin can't hold on though, and that's another knock on. Another scrum down, another Rydell York player receives some attention. This time it's Andy Precious. He looks to have received a knock in the final moments of this first half, so there's another hold in play while he receives treatment from the York physio. Magic Sponge seems to have done its job. And Leeds have it again. Jim Fallon. Long pass from Graham Holroyd finds Craig Innes, and he pushes off. Now Francis Cummins does a run down this left-hand side. Does well, Cummins goes round one defender. Has Ellery Hanley with him. Hanley still going. Leeds have numbers. Good play that though by Leeds. No more than now, about 5 metres from that Rydell York try line. It is to Cummins. Cummins though is held by Andy Gascoigne. As Leeds follow up for another try in first half injury time. Holroyd, long pass out, pushes three players out, finds Kevin Iro. Iro pushes off one, still going the Kiwi. Pass inside to Jim Fallon. Fallon though's held up, the ball's gone loose, it's gone back, says the referee. Patrick Anton gets the ball away to Milo. Good pass there, but there goes the half-time hooter, so Leeds can't add to their 20 points in the first half. Half-time at Headingley in this Challenge Cup 5th round clash. Leeds lead Rydell York by 20 points to 2, with tries from Mann, Iro and Fallon, and goals from Graham Holroyd. He's got 3, just that precious penalty for Rydell York midway through that first half. Teams then back on for the start of the second half of this Challenge Cup clash. Can't see any changes in the Leeds lineup at half-time. Still Gary Schofield and Jim Latham on the bench. Leeds have the same 13 as referee Russell Smith in the sunlight. Has a good look round, checks everybody's on. And the touch judge on this south stand side is a delay because he's gone to the wrong end and receives a round of applause from the Leeds spectators in the south stand. Russell Smith was looking for him, thought he was still in the changing rooms, and at last the second half gets underway to the one or two taunts of the Leeds fans to the touch judge on this near side. Holroyd gets the first pass then to Aseni Famailo, who gets away from the first tackle, held by Brad Davis, who must be about half his size, and a little bit of help from Andy Precious. Now it's Neil Harmon. Lowe's to Richie Ayres. Ayres tackled by Ramsey and by Gascoigne. Kick here from Graham Holroyd. It's a deep kick inside that York half, but I'm not going to go dead, or is it? Just Lee Deakin watches it, and it'll be a tap on the 20-metre line for Rydale York. Darryl Jackson held in the tackle inside his own half by Richie Ayres and Neil Harmon. Gascoigne out there to Davis, had support from Lawrence but couldn't release the ball. Good tackle by Mann and Ontart. Ramsey pass inside to Horton, to Brad Davis. Davis puts a good pass out there on that right hand side. There's a chance here for the winger Dean Thomas making a break. It's Thomas against Cummins. Thomas gets the ball away, does he? He had two players coming up on his inside. He got the ball away, but it was a knock on. Maybe a slight chance there for York in the opening stages of the second half, but they couldn't take advantage of it. Cummins tries to jink past Davis, but is held. Innes misses out. Alan Tate feeds Kevin Iro. Iro has Jim Fallon on this right hand side. Fallon sees a gap. Still going Jim Fallon. Cuts inside the fullback. Good break this. Fallon's going to go in for a try. Great individual effort by the Leeds right wing man. And Fallon scores his second try of the game. It's Leeds' fourth. 24 points to 2 now the scoreline. As Kevin Iro fed the ball out, Jim Fallon made the break from inside his own half of the field. Cut inside the fullback Jason Lawrence. Went in underneath the post for another Leeds try. And Graham Holroyd has no problem. 26 points to 2 in Leeds' favour. As the cries of "We're all off to Wembley" come up from the Leeds fans underneath this television gantry. A little bit previous. It certainly looks as if, as far as this game's concerned, it's going to be a question now of maybe how many points Leeds score in this second half. Let's hope so anyhow, as Patrick Ontong does well to take the ball deep inside his own half. Lowe's feeds Neil Harmon. Harmon bursts through 2 tackles. There was nobody there in support though. Now there is. It's Ellery Hanley. Hanley though well held by Davis. Lows to Familo. Familo steps inside. Final tackle this though for Leeds. Graham Holroyd. Holroyd puts the little chip over, manages to regather. Brilliant play by Graham Holroyd. He's going to go in the corner. He is. Oh, his foot's going in touch. So unfortunate that for Graham Holroyd. Did brilliantly well. Little chip over the top. Manages just to regather about knee high. He just though put his left boot in touch on that far side. The touch judge had his flag up. That would have been a great individual try by Holroyd had it been counted, but it wasn't. And Rydell York will be pleased that they don't concede another try in the opening minutes of this second half. York have possession from the scrum. Judge with a pass to Davis. Davis looks to release the ball. It's gone back. Andy Precious, former Honslet player, has it. But York so far in about 3 tackles have gone nowhere. In fact, they've only conceded to lose the ball, but referee says Leeds were trying to steal possession and has given Rydell York the penalty. And this could be headed straight towards the TV gantry. Andy Precious has it. He doesn't get the height on it, but it goes into touch, and York have the penalty almost on halfway. Loose forward, Ramsey. Somehow turns and gets the ball away, has support. But Patrick Ontott does well to bring down Mick Ramsden on halfway. Horton feeds the ball to Jackson. Jackson twists away from Ellery Hanley, but Hanley grabs him by his ankles and brings him down. Gascoigne with the pass out there to Davis. Davis with a short pass to Jason Lawrence. Lawrence the fullback, has he got the pace to go on Alan Tate? Great tackle by Alan Tate. Lawrence is held about 3 metres from the try line, and that's going to be holding in the tackle, and Leeds going to have somebody sin bin here. No doubt about it. That's going to be a sin bin in. Alan Tate is going to spend 10 minutes in the sin bin. Lawrence was well tackled though there by Alan Tate, but Tate held on just too long, and Leeds are down to 12 men. And Rydell York, they're more than about 3 or 4 metres from that Leeds try line. Horton at acting half-back. He'll spread it out to this right-hand side. Gascoigne to Davis. There's an overlap here for Rydell York. The second row forward cut inside there. Ramsden, he surely should have passed it out to the wing to give York 4 points. Still York to score their first try. Leeds have held them so far just to that penalty from Andy Precious in the opening few minutes of the game. Davis with a long pass, he's been intercepted by Jim Fallon. Fallon is going to go the length of the field, is he? He's going to, the fullback after him, but nobody's going to stop Jim Fallon. That's a hat-trick try for the Leeds winger. Just when it looked as if there was going to be the possibility of points at the other end, Jim Fallon saw the ball cruising out to the wing, and Jim Fallon said thank you very much. And there was no way that he was going to be stopped. He went underneath the post almost for Leeds' 5th try. Leeds have extended their lead to 30 points to 2. There's only going to be one result when Fallon lashed onto that pass, and that was 4 points to Leeds. 49 minutes of this game gone. And one young Leeds teenager takes over from the other as far as goal-kicking responsibility is concerned. And not one to remember that one for Francis Cummins. Completely miscues it. And it screws past the right-hand side. So Leeds complete the substitution. Gary Schofield on for Graham Holroyd. No doubt Doug Lawton giving Holroyd a bit of a break. (9,473) the attendance for this Challenge Cup clash. Not a bad crowd considering only a handful of York supporters here, and of course it's all pay. No doubt the fact that it's a nice afternoon and it's the Challenge Cup has brought one or two out as well. Ennis with the gap. Well tackled though by Lee Deakin. Now it's Neil Harmon. Harmon making yards all the time, every time Leeds have possession at the moment. Lowe's feeds Gary Schofield. Schofield to Patrick Ontop. Ball back inside to Schofield. That's a long pass out there to George Mann. Mann gets the ball to Iro. Referee says forward pass. That didn't look forward at all from our position. Russell Smith thought different. Looked to be an okay pass, that one, but Leeds are penalised. And York have the scrum down on halfway. And I've won a penalty. Ellery Hanley not staying in the scrum long enough. He popped his head out from the back to try and tackle Gascoigne. Russell Smith spotted it. And the ball goes into touch on the far side. Ramsey tackled by Lowe's and by Familo. Jackson almost underneath the Leeds post. York maybe looking for a consolation try. Horton, that's a bad pass, it's bouncing. Gascoigne does well to pick it up, but Ryder York putting themselves under pressure at the moment. The ball's back inside with the fullback Jason Lawrence. Lawrence has spilled possession. Leeds have got it back again. And maybe the second division side on many occasions so far their own worst enemies. As James Lowe's is wrapped up there. Now it's Mann. Mann tries to turn away from the tackle, but there's three York players there to bring him down. Now it's Familo. Gets away from three challenges, can't get away from the fourth. And Leeds have been awarded the penalty. And Gary Schofield will put boot to ball and kick it into the paddock on the far side. Tap penalty taken quickly. Neil Harmon comes through at pace, but York defenders move up quickly and bring him down. Lowe's to Onta. Feeds Familo. Familo's found a break. He's got the ball inside to Hanley. Hanley to Onta. Nobody there for the final pass though for Leeds, but York are stretched again. Lowe's. Leeds no more than about 10 metres from that try line. Mann out to Gary Schofield. Schofield thinks about the pass, goes by himself. Still going. Ball inside to Craig Innes. Innes has found a massive gap in the defence. He just opened up there for the Kiwi. And Craig Innes has scored a try. 34 points to 2 then Leeds now lead. And there's a big gap there. Craig Innes has got in for his 7th try of the season. Scored 4, of course, against Warrington in the league encounter here last month. As Leeds make another substitution, Aseni Familo is going to come off, and Jim Latham has come on. Meanwhile, Francis Cummins this time adds the 2 points. Leeds 36, Rydale York 2. .25 minutes remaining. as Andy Precious kicks off again. Richie Ayres, well held though by Davis and by Ramsey inside his own half. Now it's Kevin Iro. Iro gets the pass away to Craig Innes. Another chance for a break here for Leeds. Innes though can't release the ball, he's held on halfway. Neil Harmon. Harmon almost gets away from a challenge, but he's held. Now it's Patrick on top. Long pass out there to George Mann. Mann finds a gap. The ball's gone loose, and it's a knock on. Another scrum will form on the far side. Almost losing possession there, the three-quarter, but manages to hold on before he's brought down by Mann. Now it's Andy Gascoigne, goes to Maxine half-back. Gascoigne, though, tackled by his opposite scrum half number in Patrick Ontan. Andy Precious for Rydale York. Good tackle by Jim Latham. Looks to make a couple of tackles on the bounce, but he can't. Now it's Jackson for Rydale York, looking to get the ball away. He does, but only into the hands of Patrick Ontat. But the referee says that he stole the ball, and it's another penalty to Rydale York. Little point in York going for goal. So Precious takes the ball by himself and heads towards the middle of the pitch and towards the try line. Maybe a chance here. Is number 10 going to be over for the try? He's knocked the ball on. There was an opportunity there for Ian Fletcher to get 4 consolation points for Rydale York, but he knocked the ball on. Referee looked towards his touch judge on the far side, so the visitors spilling the chance of 4 points. Francis Cummins, well tackled there by the York number 6, and a little bit too eager Brad Davis to make some tackles there, and Leeds have won a penalty, which Gary Schofield fails to kick into touch. Dean Thomas picks it up on that far side, but he's held. The ball went back. Jim Latham makes the tackle. So Leeds failing to find touch there through Gary Schofield. Darryl Jackson. Jackson out to Chris Hopcutt. Hopcutt goes by himself, cuts inside. Held though. York put a little bit of spell of pressure on that Leeds try line. Gascoigne feeds Davis. Davis with a pass to the fullback Jason Lawrence, but Lawrence is held. Gascoigne, he can find no way through. This is the last tackle for York. Little kick through, well fielded by Jim Fallon. Be a drop out from underneath his post, but the hat-trick man showing not only can he score tries, but he can also defend as well. Leeds 36, Rydale York 2, the scoreline. Leeds have scored 3 tries so far in the second half. Drop out, fielded by Mick Ramsden, the Rydale York number 12, almost makes it to the 25-yard line. And Leeds again are penalised. Andy Precious, tackled by James Lowes. Gascoigne has supported field, it's the 3 Chris Judge. York about 10 metres from that try line, a bit less. Can they get themselves a try? Brad Davis is going to get it. So Rydale York, to the delight of their spectators behind the goal, score their first try of this Challenge Cup clash. 36 points to 6, the scoreline. Don't think it'll be anything more than consolation. But they have put a bit of pressure on Leeds in the last few minutes. And Davis found a gap in the home defence and went in for the Rydal York try. That can be 36-8 if Andy Precious converts from underneath the post. He does. Leeds 36, Rydal York 8. Gary Schofield, the player that's receiving some attention just to the right hand side of his own post. Not too sure Gareth Schofield's in any fit state to continue, and he, after coming on, could be making a sharp exit. Trying just to see whether he can continue. He's walking gingerly. And Rydal York knock straight on from the kick-off and put themselves down under some more unnecessary pressure. Ball comes out Leeds side. On tap feeds George Mann. Mann to Innes. Back to George Mann. Has Alan Tate in support now, back on after his 10 minutes in the same bin. Fallon's in again. Is he? Did he ground it? Referee says he did. So Fallon scores his 4th try of the afternoon. That's Leeds' 7th. It's now 40 points to 8. Well, this season, now Jim Fallon has scored 18 tries, 14 before this one. He's now got 4 this afternoon. And Leeds responded almost straight away to that Rydal York touchdown, with Tate sending in Fallon, who returns to halfway now to a ripple of applause again. Right on the touchline. Couldn't be any further out if it tried. Right-footed kicker, steps up now. Looks a good one. Tremendous conversion from Francis Cummins. And after his disappointing first attempt, he's put over 2 good kicks, but that a brilliant one right from the touchline. And Leeds now lead by 42 points to 8. That's not for the first time this afternoon. Rydal York find themselves kicking off. On tap to Ellery Hanley. Hanley makes it to the edge of the 20-metre line. Latham, though, tackled. So Richie Ayres tries to find a gap, but no way through there for the Leeds second row forward. For Milo. Back on for Leeds. Latham at first receiver. Can't get the ball away. He had on his shoulder, but this is a final tackle. Ball's back with Alan Tate, who puts the pressure on the full back, but well taken in the sunshine by Jason Lawrence. Leeds no doubt will try and keep Rydal York penned deep inside their own half. Fletcher for York, well tackled over there by Latham. York making it ever closer towards the halfway line, but this is the final tackle according to the referee, and the kick's put in. Fallon's going to pick up. Oh, he's going to try and pick up. The ball went back. Alan Tate. Tate against Deakin and Davis, and Alan Tate is tried to be put into touch, but he's not. Iro to Fallon. Leeds fans maybe expect another length of the field effort from the Leeds winger, not this time though. On tap to Iro, again here, maybe a chance for Leeds with the break. The ball's gone behind, the referee says play on. On tap finds Francis Cummins. Cummins, well tap, brought down there, and unfortunately it's knocked on. And Radio York make a substitution. Andy Precious is going off. Another error by the visitors, and it's come up on the Leeds side. Alan Tate will be looking to take advantage of it. Finds Jim Fallon. Fallon against Deakin, still going, the former back from the Union player. He's taking some putting down, releasing the ball to James Lowes. Lowes to Mann. Mann with a clever inside pass to Kevin Iro, and Radio York looks stretched again here as the ball's flung out to that left-hand side. Innes inside to Francis Cummins. 6 more tackles to Leeds, says the referee. Ayres 2 on top. Now it's Tate with a short pass to Latham, but it's a forward pass. Just narrowly forward. Referee right by that one to make that decision. York have the put him at the scrum. Comes out on the York side where Chris Judge has possession. Now it's Ramsey. He's tried quite hard for York to make inroads. Him and Brad Davis have been the pick of the Radio York team. Here come York. Davis, that man who scored the Radio York try, looks to get the ball away, but he's held by Kevin Iro on halfway. Jackson loses possession, forcing the Leeds tackle perhaps. Lowes to Innes. Innes pushes the first player off, swats him down like a fly. Leeds have possession almost on halfway. On tap to Richie Ayres. Ayres to Tate. Tate to Iro. Another chance for Leeds on this right-hand side perhaps. The ball goes wide to Fallon. Fallon back inside to Iro. Good inside pass, but Iro's well tackled. Hanley to Mann. Mann to Latham, but it's knocked on. Leeds have lost possession. Chance for York on that right-hand side, perhaps. For Milo and Innes make the tackle. And there's another knock on. Didn't see it, but the touch judge on the far side did. 10 minutes remaining. Leeds 42, York 8. Some deliberation, taking the time for the scrum to form on that far side. Mann to Innes. Innes tries to put the pass away, but he's tackled. Ayres brought down by the York standoff. Latham. Lowes 2 on tap, long pass out to Kevin Iro. Alan Tate joins the line, but he's well tackled there by the winger, Dean Thomas. Still needs to have possession though. Hilary Hanley Hanley gets the ball away. Richie Ayres. Ayres to Tate. Tate's got a Fallon inside. Elects to use him, but this time there's no way through for Jim Fallon. He's pushed back. There's a bit of a fracas involving James Lowes and Brad Davis, and it all was involved when Jim Fallon was there, but could be Leeds that are penalised. Referee stops the clock. Jim Fallon's been called across. No doubt James Lowes will be maybe brought across as well in a minute, and referee finally sorts out who did what to who. And surprisingly, Russell Smith gives a penalty to Leeds. I think that surprised Leeds, because they were all looking maybe for the penalty to York, but never mind. James Lowes will kick the ball into touch as Leeds look for further points in the last 8 minutes. Latham, the first receiver. For Milo on tap to Hanley. Hanley finds a gap, does he? Almost gets away. Good tackle by Andy Gascoigne. Lowes. Ayres comes up from blind side, comes from the back to take the possession up for Leeds, but he's held about 6 metres from the try line. York holding at the tackle. Leeds are given a penalty. Maybe surprisingly, Leeds are going to go for goal. Should be 2 points, but with this sort of lead, you would have perhaps thought that Leeds would have been a bit more adventurous. Francis Cummins then with the chance of another 2 points. Sommer straight smack bang underneath the post. Cummins with the penalty, and that's another 2 points to Leeds. Now 44 points to 8. In the second half, it's been a bit of a stroll for Leeds. York made a battle for it maybe for the first half an hour, and apart from that, it really has been one-way traffic. Jim Fallon, not surprisingly, with 4 tries, has been awarded the Silk Cut Challenge Cup Man of the Match. Comes as no surprise. And we're into the final 5 minutes of this Challenge Cup clash. And Leeds will have won this one at a bit of a canter. For Milo, still going, pushing off the challenges, gets the ball inside to Kevin Iro. Iro, has he got a chance to go by himself? Has support, but he's tackled by the fullback, Jason Lawrence. Tate does well to clutch that one out of the air. Leeds now no more than about 20 metres from that right of the York try line once more. Lowes though held up by 2 defenders on that far side. Final tackle. Man to Ayres. Ayres with a kick through, and that's not going to go dead. It's picked up by Jason Lawrence. Looked as if that kick was going to go dead, but it stayed in field. Holt feeds the ball out to Chris Hopcutt, tackled though by Familo. Ian Fletcher for you. Ball's gone loose, has it gone back? It's a bit scrappy there. Referee says play on. York still have possession. As Andy Gascoigne tries to find a gap. Ball goes out on that right-hand side as Steve Dobson feeds the ball out to fellow substitute Darryl Jackson. Final tackle list. Stuart Houghton puts the right-footed kick in. Francis Cummins under a bit of pressure, but does well, the winger. And Alan Tate's pen just on his own try line there, as Leeds are slow to come back. Innes scrambles away from the first tackle. Now it's Richie Ayres. It's the final couple of minutes of this game. And Leeds have lost possession and now been penalised. York take the penalty quickly. Davis held though by Kevin Iro. Lawrence inside to Davis. Davis gets the ball away to Hopcott, but Leeds will want to make sure that York don't get another try. The ball's gone loose. Referee looks towards the touch judge. The ball went back. Play allowed to continue. Maybe a chance here for the winger, but he's knocked on. And Francis Cummins has picked up possession. Cummins goes right across the front of his own post. Raw goes up, maybe for a second looks if he was going to go the distance. George Mann's found a gap. Cuts inside, can't get the ball away. Two Rydal York defenders there complete the tackle. Passing on top to Alan Tate. Tate thinks about the pass and then throws it the other way. Latham's tackled inside his own half. And Rydal York steal possession from that play the ball. Ramsey. Dummies goes by himself, puts the ball inside, maybe a chance for a Rydal York try. No, 6 more tackles though, according to the referee. Touch of a Leeds hand. So York having the maybe a final burst of pressure as we enter the final minute. Maybe a chance for Gascoigne. Is he in for a try? He is. Another consolation try for Rydal York. Andy Gascoigne has scored Rydal York's second try right at the end. That makes a score of 44 points to 12. The Rydal York scrum half getting a late consolation try. And it's going to be Steve Dobson, the Rydal York number 14, that will and the conversion is good from Dobson. 44-14. Into injury time now. Won't be too much of that, I wouldn't have thought. Leeds then progressing through to the quarter-finals of the Challenge Cup. Wigan, of course, again will be the team to beat. They've won quite easily at Mount Pleasant Batley. And there goes the final hooter. Leeds 44, Rydal York 14. When this draw was made, it always looked to home banker. And that's the way it turned out. Stickerindi side certainly made a fight of it. They didn't lay down, they kept on battling right to the end. Got that late consolation try But Leeds go through to the next round. The highlight, without a shadow of a doubt, the 4 tries scored by Jim Fallon. Maybe another Challenge Cup success then for Leeds. They've beaten Bradford Northern, they've beaten Red Hill York. Who next then in the next round? The quarter-finals, full-time, Leeds 44, Red Hill York 14. Neil, a convincing win over Ideal York. On paper you would have thought you would have been easy winners. They made a battle of it. They got a consolation try towards the end, but lead through to the next round most importantly. Yeah, that's the most important thing, you know. We knew they was going to come to do a job. We just had to keep all our heads together. We knew it was always going to be difficult playing teams like Rydale York because expectations are always so high and people expect a big score. When you start off like that, you know, you're against a losing battle. So we had to sort of knuckle down in the first 20 minutes and just realise that it was going to be a tough game in the first 20, 30 minutes. Is it the same sort of build-up? Is it the same sort of momentum during the week as you build up to a game like this? You try, but you always sense that edgy complacency. You can just sense it in the dressing room before the game. Everybody's trying to G each other up, but something's missing, as it were. So it's always difficult when you do play second division sides. But like you say, winning the next round, that's all we're bothered about, really. Rydale York, you said, made a bit of a fight of it. I mean, they kept on battling to the end. I suppose that's all you can expect from a second division side. Who aren't doing that well in the league anyhow, are they? Yeah, take nothing away from them. They came here, they had nothing to lose, and they give it the best shot. They did slow the ball down very well, sometimes too well. I thought they got away with it quite a lot, but they did the job. But all credit to them, they came here and give it the best. What about your performance? Another solid performance. You've been on the subs bench a lot of the times this season. When you get in the sort of 13, you've got to make the most of it, I suppose. Yeah, I think I've been in more dugouts than Montgomery this year, but yeah, I'm just glad to get my chance. I got the chance last week against Casford and put the 100% in. Got my chance again today and just sort of keep it going now. That's all I can expect. The Challenge Cup, I mean, we were saying it's a 2-horse race between Leeds and Wigan. Warrington went out on Saturday. There's not too many other teams that could do anything in it. I disagree with that. I mean, the Challenge Cup, it's all about 80 minutes of rugby and anybody can turn it on for 80 minutes. That's why you've always got to be on your utmost against, you know, lower teams. But Warrington learned yesterday that, you know, you can't relax, and a little bit of complacency cost them maybe the Challenge Cup this year, or definitely an appearance there. So we won't be giving anybody any second thoughts. We're going to go for it 100%. Obviously, Leeds have had the smell of Wembley last year. I know everybody wants to make a return, hopefully with a better result. Yeah, I'm going for the set. I've got a losing medal. I want the winners one this year, so yeah, we're going to try and give it our best shot to go back there. If not for us, for the fans. Thanks so much, Neil.